Can y'all hear me? All right. So if I could have the 3 candidates for city to have a seat up here anywhere you want. And well, so I guess first I'm going to pray, and then we'll do the pledges, and then we'll start, okay? So, dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for everybody here. And I just pray a calmness over the candidates, Father, that they would have the words that they want to say, and that they could have the calmness in their bodies, in their hearts, and their minds, and just relax. And Father, I just thank you for being here with us. And we just praise you and love you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. So now we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and there's a little flag right over there. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I have the words over here for the Texas pledge, or you may know it, and here we go. Honor the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, thank you all for spending your evening here. Hi, Ruth. And okay, I think we'll just, if it's okay with y'all, just start with Joe here on the end, and he will have 2 minutes to give his opening statement, or less. You don't have to use it all. So, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joe Williamson III. I'm about a 4th or 5th generation Williamson here in Eastland through my grandparents and great-grandparents. I moved to Eastland in 1974, started kindergarten, graduated high school. I left Eastland in '89 after graduation with the opportunity to play college baseball. After I discovered I was not going to be a Texas Ranger, I decided to go to the fire academy. At that point, I was hired by the Halton City Fire Department. I spent nearly 28 years there, retired out of line battalion chief. And so that's my career. Got to do a lot of different opportunities through the fire service. And then in 1996, I opened my first business as a DBA, Magic Construction, that I did projects, home remodel projects on the side. And then I've grown businesses. The second first LLC I had was 2-alarm lawn sprinklers. I was a lawn irrigation, and I owned a company with employees for 19 years. And now I'm operating currently under 2 LLCs. And I was worked for a company out of Phoenix and got the opportunity to travel the United States teaching incident management and fire command. I've worked in conjunction with TEAL. I am now a part-time wage instructor for TEATS, which is Texas A&M, and most of my discipline right now is teaching FEMA classes, advanced and intermediate and advanced command classes, ICS 300, 400, to law enforcement due to the new mandate. One of the reasons that I would like to be elected to the commission is my wife and I own 5 pieces of property in the city, 4 of them being multi-story, 2-story buildings on the square. We had 2 stepchildren enrolled in the Eastland Independent ISD. My sister lives here in town, and I have a nephew who just joined the Texas Guard, who's also enrolled in the Eastland ISD. we are invested in the city. We want to be a part, and I want to be able. I would like the opportunity to put my input in and be an advocate and a representative for the citizens to better the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I'm going to erase this a bit. Now, Richard Rosander.
Have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Steve has the signs.
I'll take it. You've got 30 seconds.
Or me.
Torn for the. I'm Richard Rosander. I grew up in the state of Iowa and went to school in Iowa and in Missouri. And then I was in the United States Air Force. And when I got out, I was in Abilene, Texas. I was a lab technologist in the Air Force, and then a lab technologist for the hospital here when I got out, and also for B&W Clinic for about 4 years there. And then I got into the insurance business, which is, I thought I was really good. Tried to start with that, but we made it. It's been a fun ride, but I'll tell you something. What I love about Eastland, I was a Yankee. I mean, I came here and they said, you can't start an insurance agency, you won't buy a thing. You're a Yankee. I said, well, you know, I got here as fast as I could, you know, but anyway, we had a pretty good lineup, and the people are just wonderful in this town. The town has always been. And my whole idea is to make this town grow, to see it respond to people move here. People that want to live here as well as work here and find places to work in this town. And it's been my dream for that. I was on the economic development here for a period of 8 years, and we bought property where the land in the east side of Eastland, where all of the car dealers and everything are. That I bought that, and then helped with the church camp when we bought that. And we worked with that, and I worked with them, got on the city commission. I keep looking forward to find more things, and more things are coming. Well, I mean, we've got things moving. It's moving our way. My idea of being here, I want to keep serving. I enjoy what I do, and I want to do and help this city. I want to see this city improve. And I've got to quit. I just get the stop sign.
Larry Vernon, you have 2 minutes.
I got it. I'm watching him the whole time. Thank you very much, Robin, for hosting this, and thank you for being here. Very important night that we introduce ourselves to you. I moved to Eastland in 1983 with Southwestern Bell Telephone. I'm sure you've heard of that at one time in your life, and part of a big job. But I'm probably one of the luckiest men in the world. I married a wonderful woman, and like they always say, behind every good man is a great woman and a surprise mother-in-law. So it's been a blessing to have her support me. We had 3 children, Leanne and Laura, graduate from Eastland. Eastland's been a big part of our lives. I've served on many boards here in Eastland. I've been on the city commission for 22 years. I was on the school board for 8 years before that. And it's important to serve in our community, and I know a lot of you do. And we have a lot of things going on in Eastland. I want to continue to be a part of that and support that and keep those things moving forward. Everybody's working well together and all the different groups, and there's a lot of people supporting. I've talked many times about a community and how important the people are in the community, and we've been very successful with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for that, and we're going to start with the first question. You will have 1 minute, each of y'all, and we're going to rotate. So we'll start out this question with Richard, and then Larry, and then Joe, and then keep going that way. What is the #1 challenge facing the city, and how do you plan to address this issue?
City, of course, the streets. trying to take care of that. Rather expensive. The other things give us are just many things that we
Can't hear you. Now let's start over with giving him a mic.
If that's
Well,
easier,
we'll
y'all can
move
just.
this over here.
Well, that's still that's fine.
Now you start over.
All right, let's start over now. 1, 2. The largest, one of the big things is, of course, the streets, of course. The water. Can't hear it? Okay, now, okay. But anyway, the streets are a big issue for our community, and they are really expensive to work. Plus, there are any other things that we have other things in that too. We have the flood programs, and we're working with that right now. We have a $10 million grant we're working with the government that is cutting down some of the streets, working those and get it to carry the water away faster and solve the flood problem. There are many problems that Eastland has. And I think the main thing, you know, everybody around here will say the streets are one of the big things in our community. But, you know, it's many things. Anyway.
Thank you. Richard touched on it. You can ask the city manager. We hired Savannah. We told her your number one priority is streets. It's probably one of the most expensive endeavors you'll ever get into. But we are big on streets and getting the grass along the curb, that kind of thing, taken care of and making our city pretty. We've got a lot of great things going on, and one of them is to keep our community looking nice. Savannah's heard that message from the city commission, and it's a big deal. We had a lot of people ask about why we did certain streets like we did. Richard mentioned the $10 million flood mitigation grant. We got that for a 1%, which was $100,000. The street part of that was done wasn't much, was over $6 million. It's an expensive job.
Do you remember the question?
Yeah, I think so, if I'm off track. I'm not familiar with the true intimate challenges with the city right now, as I've not been on the commission, as I've been out of the fire chief's office for about a year. But I can tell you some of the challenges that I'm sure my colleagues would agree with me that every city faces is modern infrastructure and reliability of that infrastructure. For these older, smaller communities that don't have the taxation to repair, remodel, it's challenging. And in this role as a commissioner, what I feel like we're designed to do, challenged to do, is take the funding that we do have, prioritize those challenges, and listen to the community on what the community's challenges are, and then we address those challenges as priority.
We come up there.
Thank y'all. Very good. Number 2 is our streets. They are decaying, and outside of a grant, little has been done to address this issue. How can this be addressed utilizing local tax dollars, and what time frame will be considered? Yeah.
Interesting that was a question, but streets are an issue. Our biggest thing is fixing potholes. We have the equipment now to do that. We're working on that. It again is a priority. The job that was done by the vendor to put in our streets, the new concrete streets, we weren't happy and still not happy with how that was done. The finishing, many of you have dealt with the potholes where that concrete was put in, but we are dealing with that. We fight that every day. The city manager, the city staff, they're aware of the priorities for that, and we've got the equipment to do at least fix potholes. When you get into fixing streets, you've got to remember, if we go in and repair a street or do something to a street, we've got to do something with the water and sewer underneath it. It's expensive.
I agree that streets are a major issue. That is a lot of the feedback I've heard as the fire chief and as a citizen and as a candidate. Again, I have not been behind the curtain, but it will be a priority to me to investigate the revenue and prioritize it. I do have a plan. I don't know what it looks like so much until I have the opportunity to sit the seat. But for example, I think we should address and allocate a specific amount of funding to repair a street, then pick that high priority traffic street, whether it be Sedosa or Madera, where people take their kids to school, whether it be Daughtery, where the ambulance has to get to the hospital, whatever it is. But I think you form a committee of your smart people. You listen to your community and you address those matters. And if we have to fix a half a block a year, I think we ought to set the priority to start repairing some of these matters. And you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Okay, this next question.
Yes, Richard needs to talk.
Oh, please.
Sorry.
Okay, I think I'm on. Oh, there it is.
Please watch it close. I'll tell you, these streets are a major issue, and they do cost tremendous amounts of money to do. We've done about 15 streets this year with chip and seal, and we try to take care of so many of the streets out of the way, because we have about 60 miles of streets.
Can you talk really close to that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, do that. They're having some trouble.
Okay, but it's just, and the thing about it is the money. And we know how much we have and how much we can do, and we watch it pretty close. We have a $5 million budget that has to stretch to everything, to all our police, to everything deals with all our personnel. And you have to really look at it, and when you set up that budget in the summer, it's a major thing to get done, and it really does take the time. I'll leave the mic to somebody else.
Okay, now I think that's the last one. Okay, so this next one, Joe starts out, and then Richard, and then Larry, right? And this question is, we see in the press about transparency. What is your opinion on transparency from the city? For example, on the streets, on water, economic development, things like that. Okay, Joe.
Some of the discussions I've had with people in the community, they do feel like that there is a proverbial curtain that business goes on behind. And so one of my ideas is I would like to see the itinerary, the agenda for the commission meeting set even prior than 72 hours, back earlier by Tuesday or so, that the community has the opportunity to look at the commissioner's agenda items for this upcoming meeting, so that the community has the opportunity to provide feedback to us. And the transparency, if elected, I would like to hold either quarterly town hall meetings like this, where people have the opportunity, maybe visit different businesses, different locations, whatever they be. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but have these meetings where the commission has interaction with the community, also abiding by the commission laws. I know we can't all be there. Thank you.
As to the economic development, we have a board that serves for the economic development for our community. I did 8 years on that board, and so I understand all the needs that there are and what is given. The monies that we must keep people interested to come to our communities, and we have some people coming right now because of that. And it is something that really have to watch, because you're dealing in that aspect of it. And as far as people, as far as knowing people, what's going on with the city, it's right there. And anywhere you want to talk to any of us, we're wide open. We all have a telephone, so just give us a call. Thank you very much, though, for all you do, and thank you all for coming tonight. I really appreciate it.
As far as I know, I don't know of any issues that someone's tried to find out from the city that they haven't been able to find out. I believe we're pretty well an open book. If you ask the right questions or you let us know you've got concerns, I think we take care of that when we can. You know that personnel issues are private and we can't talk about certain things in economic development, things that are going on in the land deals and that kind of thing. And you know that's all business and those are restricted. But to my knowledge, things are pretty open and we will share that as much as we can. I do know one thing that the city manager does now is the commissioners have asked her to provide us with a Friday report. Probably should have her post that to the city website. And people can go look and sometime Friday afternoon, maybe even Saturday, look at the website. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Y'all are doing really good. According to Margaret Byfield with American Stewards of Liberty, schools, cities, and other local entities can be members. Some are non-voting, but they can participate. In the 391 sub-regional planning commissions, okay, so I think I've had the period in the wrong spot. Anyway, that's saying that in that project, the 391 sub-regional planning commissions, you can be members. Such commissions can require federal and state agencies to include the local commission in planning projects that impact this area. For example, Encore's proposed massive 765 kV transmission lines. If elected, would you work to have the city included on this 391 sub-regional planning commission? Eastland County is organizing to protect this community from adverse developments such as this 765 kV transmission lines, data centers, battery storage systems, etc. Richard, you're first.
Boy, you brought numbers to me. And we are members of and we get all of the information on that line. Each of us gets a packet from them. It usually comes certified mail on where they're planning the lines and whether many things are going to be on the lines. And so we get those and we look those over. We're to a point part of it, but we don't voice the opinion because there are people out there, and I know some people that were supposed to go right over the corner of their house. That's a big line. And it's a scary thing, and I understand it. But we take part in all of Southwest. We do all of the things in Abilene, but all of West Texas, and we are with them all the time and stay with them on what's going on. I don't know exactly all of those numbers you talked about, but yeah, so pardon me. But anyway, I do know that we do work with it all the time. But thank you.
I'm in favor of the city being involved in anything that will help us. Being a part of any committee, organization, whatever it takes. We're involved in Encore steering committees and all those things that save us money and help us do our job. Richard talked about, I took the packet home and looked at the packet for that power line. It's amazing how much money they spent and put out. All the commissioners and city manager got that here in Eastland, and it's a lot of money. It's just like they get grants. Our people in the city can tell you, you've got police chiefs and fire chiefs and a county judge here tonight that can tell you if it wasn't for grants, we couldn't function. We get a lot of benefit from the things we're members of and pay attention to, and I'm in favor of that anytime.
And I second that sentiment that, yes, it would be a high priority and a push for me that we have a representative in that committee and in those rooms behind those doors to represent the best benefit to the city of Eastland, but also work in collaboration with the county that it fits and works in the best interest of all the people involved in the city of Eastland and surrounding areas. I do believe that individuals can be very smart, but as a group, when you get a group thing and you get your smart people around the table, good things and good plans and good actions come together for all of us. Thank you.
This is y'all's last question. Thought y'all might jump up and down. Texas taxpayers fund school districts, municipalities, and other governmental entities. These entities often use taxpayer funds to support partisan lobbying. Organizations such as the Texas Association of School Boards and they advocate against parental rights, that group does, and for radical LGBT policies and other policies misaligned with Texas values. If elected, will you work to end taxpayer-funded lobbying by associations of governmental entities? Larry, I think you start first.
To pigtail off what we just talked about, I'm against anything that hurts our city. People are doing things to damage. It is our job as commissioners. 22 years ago, I had to tell the current mayor that I don't work for the city, I work for the people. And that's what we're here for. And we represent the people and try to make it work the best for the people, because they're the ones paying for it. This is their city, this is their school district, this is their county, and they pay for it. Thank you.
As a representative to the citizens and the taxpayers of the city, I would be an advocate against supporting associations that don't support the good. I truly don't support the associations. Individual association members pay individual dues to have a representative voice from that association. My wife and I have a small retail store on the south side of the square. When you come and make a purchase, we charge you 8.25%. You don't get to volunteer to do that, and I don't get to volunteer to let you out of it. That taxation is to be used in the benefit of the community at whole, and it should be used in a priority fashion to address the community needs to get the biggest bang for that taxation buck. Again, we don't have the populace of the bigger cities to capture the larger taxation, so we must prioritize and choose the challenges and the items that need to be addressed with that revenue in the highest priority that benefits the most people the best way.
That group that I was talking about we meet with is the Southwest Texas. It's the Southwest Texas Chamber of Commerce, and they're all together. We had meet in Abilene and several other spots, and they're a big issue of that. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't get close enough. I'm afraid it's going to bite. But anyway, I wouldn't support that at all. Any of that, LGBT, whatever they are, but I just don't support them. I'm sorry, but I don't. It's not my issue. I don't believe in it. And so it's just something I don't do. And so, no, I don't think we need to support that in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Thank you all. If y'all could give them a round of applause. It's really hard, and most everybody is really nervous to do this kind of thing, but it's so needed, and I appreciate all of y'all and them. Okay, so I have put the school board candidates, but y'all can have a seat wherever you want. I put y'all in alphabetical order, I think. So Donnie Kate, can you come and sit right here? And we'll go down the road. David Hatton will be next, and then James Justice, and then Roger Rutledge will be number 4, and Ruben will be number 5.
Yes.
5.
Did you mention how many places are open for the elections and when the early votes are?
Oh, when does early voting start? I shared it.
Monday, I think.
Monday?
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah,
about
I think
that.
you're right. So early voting starts Monday, thank you, Shirley. And then, the city has, well, the 3 candidates and I think 2 places, is that right? So you can vote for 1 or 2 people. And, then the school board also starts early voting the same day. And so there are, who is it? Roger and Donnie and James, okay. And then David Hatton and Ruben Zarate, they're on. So you will vote. One. Some people do that. Anyway, okay, we're gonna keep it rolling here. So Donnie, you can come up and you have 2 minutes or less.
Or less.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Donald Kate. Usually go by Donnie, but I moved here when I was just a toddler, I guess. My parents moved here, and actually went to kindergarten right down here in Miss Green's kindergarten, and then not much on speaking, but we've lived here our whole life. I've got my parents both graduated from Eastland High School. I graduated from Eastland High School. All 3 of my kids graduated from Eastland High School. I have a CPA practice here in town, right down there, and own the office building as well. So we're pretty invested in the town. And I've been on the school board since May of 2014. Hadn't been, that year I ran against Brian Bird, and since we hadn't had an opponent, so it's been pretty easy to win when there ain't no opponent. But as a CPA, I've been practicing here since 2008. Before that, I worked for Eagle Construction and Sterling Monument Company. And before that, me and my wife had started a home health agency in Cisco. So we've been pretty busy. And as a CPA, I've represented, done work for, I represented Economic Development, Eastland County Water Supply District, Olden Water Supply District, Westbound Water Supply. I've been in the water business. But anyway, and I've been on the school board, like I said, since 2014. The school business is a whole lot different than most businesses. It's very different, very, very different, especially the finances of it. You don't have a whole lot of say in how the finances come in. If we tax y'all more, we get less from the state. If we tax you less, we get less. It's just a finite number of dollars that you have to spend on the school. And that's about all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. David Hatton.
I gotta have my notes up here because I'm a millennial and I don't possess the mental acuity that everybody else does to rattle it off the top of my head. My name is David Hatton. I graduated from Eastland High School in 2003. I met my wife right over there in the Ag building, used to be the Ag building, and we married, and she graduated from Eastland the next year. We both graduated from Tarleton State University. We've lived here in Eastland ever since. I've got 2 kiddos in the school district. I've got an 8th grader and I've got a junior, and my wife is over working on prom right now, so if y'all are bored after this, y'all just head that way because they take all the help they can get. I've been on the school board since 2017, I believe. I got on there because I wanted to learn more about how the money was spent that went in and out of the school district. I didn't want to be somebody who griped about things and didn't participate in them. So I ran for school board, didn't know what a can of worms that was, but I've learned a lot in the last couple of years, worked with some great people on it. I look around the school and I see all the things that have happened in the last 8 or 9 years, and I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of the improvements we've made, proud of the good people we've brought here. I love Eastland. I'm the 4th generation of Hatton to live in Eastland County. You know, was born in Ranger, Texas. I've 20 years in the Air Force Reserve, retired 2 years ago. Been all over the world, and I will tell you, I've always been excited to get back to Eastland County. It's always been something I look forward to. I absolutely love this town. I want the best for this school. I want us to have the best possible people, and that's my goal for being here. Appreciate y'all.
I got to do the same thing. My name is James Justice. I was born and raised here in Eastland. Graduated in 2002. My wife is from Gorman, right down the road. She also graduated in 2002. We currently have 3 kiddos in Eastland EISD. I have a 1st grader, 3rd grader, and a 9th grader. Since moving back in 2018, I've served in youth sports, helped where I can, where we were needed. I also serve on the Eastland Sports Organization Board currently. I look forward to the opportunity, if selected for the school board, to try to do more for these kids. Thank you.
My name is Roger Rutledge. See a lot of familiar faces out there, and I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate Robin for putting this on. I am a proud Eastland Maverick, 1998 graduating class. Matter of fact, met my wife sitting right about where Tim Pitts is sitting right now. She has been a blessing. We've got 3 kids that I couldn't be any more proud of. One of them is here in attendance tonight, and she is a sophomore currently. Tracy and I both, all the kids, we've been very active growing up here in the school, whether it be sports, UIL, one-act play, cheerleading. I want the most that we can get out of our school district for our students. I'd just like to see the betterment for our school. Thank you.
Hola, everybody. My name's Ruben Zarate. Most of y'all know me. I can't say I'm a graduate from Eastland. I'm a graduate from Ranger, so don't hold that against me. So, Joe, thank you. But anyway, I graduated from Ranger. As soon as I graduated, I left. I moved to Kerrville, Texas to take a job there. And then my father had always told me that he wanted me to join the military. So I joined the National Guard in Kerrville in 1987. At that time, I was working for the Kerrville Telephone Company. And yes, I worked with Southwestern Bell quite a bit. So it was a great experience. But I was deployed. I've been through 3 different wars. I was medically discharged from the military. If not, I'd still be in it. But that adventure brought me back home to Ranger, here to Ranger. And that's where I met my wife, was at the VFW in Ranger. So she's been a blessing to me ever since. She's kept me in line. And then I've met a bunch of wonderful people in Eastland that I didn't want to associate with anybody because I came back home to. But when I met these people, they instilled into me that I needed to do stuff. And as all of y'all know, I'm a pest in this town. I do all kinds of stuff. I'm the Eastland County Veteran Service Officer. I do toys for kids. So I'm in the community a lot, and I see a lot of kids, and my vision is to give the kids the best education they can get. And being retired, I can oversee, I can come up here and look. If you elect me, I can come up here, if it's possible, to monitor the halls, to see what the kids are needing, to see what the community needs. I would just love to bring unity and standards back to this school district and bring it back to what it used to be. Thank you. God bless everybody.
Good job, guys. Okay, so the first question, and you'll each have a minute to answer, or less, is what do you believe is the #1 issue facing the Eastland School District, and how do you plan to address this issue? And David Hatton, you will be the first answerer.
All right.
Number one issue facing the school district, I would say, is selling Eastland to young teachers, getting them to come here. We have got to get quality people to Eastland to keep the pipeline full of quality educators, of certified teachers, of people who care about your kids, who want to impart their love, their wisdom to our children. Getting those people here, it's a challenge. We don't have a lot of things in town to offer them that a lot of cities have, so we have to sell ourselves on the greatness of our community, on what we have to offer, from the friendliness of our town, the cleanness of it, whatever it is that we have to sell. That's our number one challenge, is recruiting and keeping good young people in Eastland to be a part of our school district for our future success. Thank you.
So I'll start with, I think there's a lot of good things happening with the school right now. I do. I think they're bringing in the right people. I think one of the issues, probably the biggest issue in my mind, is the support that the school gets from our community. I really do. I think that's one of the issues. I think we've lost that. And I think these kids notice that. I have a freshman. She notices that. You go to sporting events. Used to, when we were in school, we weren't even that good. I'll be honest, we weren't good. But there were still people in the stands, whether they had kids or not. And I think it's time that the community steps up, shows more support for the school so that we can get things done. We've actually got two issues that I'm concerned with right now at Eastland. One of them is public perception. Events of the last few years have damaged. I mean, you talk to anybody from neighboring districts, and there's an issue that needs to be resolved. David touched on another one. We've got to get good qualified teachers here and keep them here. And you can't do that with what we're paying, and that's one of my big issues. Contacted a lot of the other districts local to us, whether one out of the county, 30 miles down the road, but our teacher pay, I realize there's underpaid staff everywhere. Teacher pay is the top of the list. When you're paying aides to come in $70 a day, and surrounding districts are paying $85 to $100, you're not going to get those teachers here. Thank you.
Well, like Roger said and Mr. Hatton said, we do have issues with the pay for our teachers, and that's one big issue. You gotta compete with the other districts in order to get good quality teachers in to educate our children. The other issue I think that's hurting us is our infrastructure. I mean, you go anywhere and Mr. Justice can tell you, Mr. Hatton can tell you, anybody can tell you, they have beautiful stadiums. I know we can't afford a stadium, but I'll sure love to see our stadium remodeled. Infrastructure will attract more students, might attract more families into it. But they come into town and they see our facilities and they say, well, maybe no. But I think that's a big issue too, is our infrastructure around Eastland. And we need to figure out how we can do that and how we can get more pay for our teachers and coaches to bring more quality people in and bring the children in. Because we love Eastland, and we need to make it better. Thank you.
I think we've got a good staff right now. I don't think that's the problem at all. But you have teachers that aren't certified, and they need to be certified. We're working on that. And facilities, speaking of facilities, we got a building over here we're going to try to remodel for the administration, because right now the Connolly, when it flooded, we lost our offices up there, and we really need a place for our administrators to be. And the football field he was talking about, we'd had it if we'd have passed the bond the first time we tried to get it done, but that didn't happen. Thank you.
So for the second question, What are your feelings on a 4-day school week, and what facts are you utilizing to support your position? And where is the time lost made up? And James Justice, you are next.
So I think that's a tricky question because I have talked to parents on both sides that would love to see a 4-day school week. Some that would not, because it's going to sound terrible maybe, that's an extra day of daycare that they have to pay for because their kids are not in school. And that's something that we have to think about. I honestly have not looked into the process of moving to that, so I really can't speak to that. But I do know there are people in favor of it and people who are against it. So. While I am not 100% against a 4-day school week, somebody's going to have to do a lot of convincing. And I've read numbers, and I may be making these up, but I think, if I'm not correct, close to 60% of our students are economically disadvantaged. 4-day school week affects those kids most, whether it be, that may be the only meal those kids get a day. Keeping them out of trouble. Somebody's gonna have to do a lot of convincing before I go to a 4-day school week. Thank you.
Well, I can't elaborate no more than that. I'm very against that 4-day school. I mean, I just don't think it's a workable thing. Like it says, a lot of kids are at a disadvantage with that. Economically, like Roger said, daycare. Some of these kids, some of these kids get their meals here in the mornings and lunch. So you take that away from them one day, you know what's going to happen to them. And I'm part of, hey, no kids should be left behind. So I'm a very big no against this 4-day school. If I get elected to the school board and that comes up to vote, I'd vote no on it. Thank you.
The 4-day work week, it's got its good points and its bad, but if you go to 4 days, then the teachers would probably be here the whole 5 days, and on that 5th day, they'd have time to work with students that are having troubles and whatnot, and make up extra credit for them. But the other side is that, like you said, what we're going to do with these kids when they're not at school. They're going to more time to do things they don't want to be doing. But so I'm kind of on the fence on it right now.
I haven't had anybody come up and ask us to look into a 4-day school week. On the surface, I'd probably agree with Roger and Ruben that on the surface, it looks like the cost would outweigh the benefits of not having the kids in school 5 days a week with the additional childcare, the lack of access to a meal that day. And I just haven't seen any overwhelming evidence that anybody's brought to the school to show that there's a huge benefit to a 4-day week. I mean, I guess if the people brought it and said, hey, there's great evidence that this is really changing people's lives and making it better, you could never go against that. But we haven't had that kind of push here at Eastland, so I would not have a position in favor of a 4-day week right now.
Okay. What role does discipline play in the overall educational process? And Roger? Yep.
Discipline plays a huge role, and it's not, I see a handful of teachers over here that we're not back in the 1980s, 1990s. I realize we live in a different world than everybody's wanting a timeout now. I had some, Miss Curry may have got after me a time or two.
I think you're saying they did.
Yeah.
We do live in a different world. Teachers aren't afforded the same, it's just different. But we do have a discipline issue, and it's not specific to Eastland. It's not specific to Eastland County, it's not specific to Texas. We've got a discipline problem through the U.S. I am a firm disciplinarian. I think you can, yeah, I got one sitting right over there that'll agree with me.
That's good. Discipline. Where does discipline come from? From the household. It starts at the household. Our teachers shouldn't be burdened by discipline to children themselves. Even though I was, growing up in Ranger, we had some rough teachers, and they would get the paddle after us. We didn't have this. You go to timeout or ISS, whatever you call that. We went straight to the principal's office and got our butt whipped. But discipline, if the parents would get involved with their child, maybe some of this discipline would go away. But you got to remember, our teachers are here to educate our children, not discipline them. It takes the parents. It starts at the household with the children. If you don't have a strong family household that will discipline their children to make them say, yes, sir, no, ma'am, thank you very much, then where's that come from? It's going to go right straight to the school district. And I just don't think our teachers are there for discipline. I think they're there to educate our children. To me, discipline starts from the household. Thank you very much.
We have a set of principles that we abide by, and the teachers follow them as best they can. But it's not like back when I was in school here, right down that hall, and Coach Price would walk up with his paddle, whether you were doing anything wrong or not, and he'd give you a lick. But we can't do that anymore because of the way things are. But I think we don't have a terrible discipline problem, but I think it can be better.
I had to think on that a second. As a board member, our role in discipline, as a board member, your job is to govern, not to manage. And our job is to support the administrators in their role in running the school. And we do that by annually reviewing our procedures, our handbook, our code of conduct, and you have a good, clear set of rules for your administrators. You support them when they enforce those rules. You do the best you can to lay the best environment for discipline to be fostered. But at the core of it, any discipline problem, it starts in the home, and it has to come from the parents. The school cannot raise people's kids. Right. They can be a safe spot, and they can be a place where people are nourished, but they can't raise people's children. It'll never work. But we have to support our administrators in laying the clearest groundwork we can and giving them the best support.
So I'll second what David said. I think you have to support your administrators, principals, in the decisions they make. I think you have to have good guidelines for discipline, whether they need to be tweaked or not. I think you need to look at often as you can. But again, it starts at home. I had a dad that was not afraid to discipline, and I'm thankful for that. But on the other hand, I also had teachers up here. One of my favorite teachers is Coach Anthony. And I remember doing something on the baseball field, and he got about that far away from my nose and told me to never let him see me do that again. And it stuck with me. So it takes a village to raise kids. Like, I'm thankful for the teachers we have because they will get on to my kids when they need to. So, but I do think discipline plays a huge part and something we need to stay on top of.
Okay, what is the role of a school board member? You kind of touched on that. And Ruben, you're first.
The role of a school board member is to oversee the teachers, to oversee our budget, to make sure things are running smooth for our children, our community, to see what we can do to flourish more, to help the kids grow more. You know, we're the administration part of it. Then you have the teachers. We got to figure out, we're the, how do I say this? We're the number one spot if anything goes wrong. If something goes wrong, then the school doesn't work. We're the working mechanics of the school. So everything falls back on us. So we got to be on our game. And I think our role is to oversee that our children are getting the best education that they can receive. Thank you.
The role of a school board member is to set policies, to make sure those policies are adhered to by the superintendent, who's the only hire we do is the superintendent, and he's to hire everybody else, and we approve it if he tells us what he wants. But as far as day-to-day operations, school board members shouldn't have anything to do with that. We should be overseeing the plans that we put out and not necessarily coming here every day and trying to make sure the teachers are doing what they're supposed to do. We're supposed to oversee from a distance. Thank you.
Like I said a minute ago, when you go to your board trainings, the first thing they tell you is your role is to govern, not to manage. You make one hire as a school board, that's your superintendent. Then you affirm all the rest of the hires that he makes. You oversee them, you set the policies, you set the backboards behind the people that you hire to run the school. You listen to people. There's an appeal process when there's problems in town. It will eventually make it to you, but you will cut the legs out from underneath the school district if you jump that chain of command. You will cause problems that are incredibly hard to fix and cause deep division and wounds. You let the chain of command play out. You listen to everybody that comes to you. Right? That doesn't mean you speak on everything. That doesn't mean you offer an opinion on school business on everything. You let the administration do your job, and you let them manage the school.
So I think it's good for a school board member to listen to the public, right, if they come to you. But overall, I think everybody's hit it. Your job is to oversee the hire of the superintendent, and he takes care of the day-to-day. But I do think it is important to listen to what people say. Not necessarily have an answer for what they tell you, but you at least need to listen to what they have to say. As a board member, it is, I mean, it's really your role is pretty limited. You hire the superintendent. If there's an issue, you get rid of the superintendent, keep superintendent in check. But as a member, I would expect to provide guidance, you know, help where we need help, provide support. You've also, you know, I'm not school board. I've been running for a month now, and I've already got people coming to me with things they'd like to see done. That's not my job. You pass those along, chain of command. I mean, that's why we hired Jeremy, or why the board hired Jeremy. Provide guidance. Thank you.
Your last question. Woohoo! And y'all have heard this question before, so anyway. Texas taxpayers fund school districts, municipalities, and other governmental entities. These entities often use taxpayer funds to support partisan lobbying. Organizations such as the Texas Association of School Boards that advocates against parental rights and for radical LGBT policies and other policies misaligned with Texas values. If elected, will you work to end taxpayer-funded lobbying by associations of governmental entities? And Donnie, you're first.
That's a lot of words. I'm not sure exactly what that entity is, but I don't think that aligns with any of our feelings here on the board. And I wouldn't support funding them for sure. I'm not sure exactly how they do get their funding, but it's not for me, so an independent school district.
Okay. Lot to unpack there, but I don't know exactly how TASB and other associations get their funding, how that revenue stream works, but I will tell you, I've had a lot of interactions with TASB in the years I've been on the board, never had a single negative one. They've never been anything but a source of good information and guidance on good governance. I am a public school person. I would not be on the school board if I wasn't. I believe in it with all of my heart. I believe that public school is held to a standard. There's an accountability factor that goes into public school that voucher-backed programs don't have, and I believe in that. I believe in it with all my heart. It's the melting pot that holds society together. I want our taxpayers to be respected. I want tax dollars to be used well, but I don't want to be wasted. I don't guess I have a problem with TASB or some of those organizations that I think we've gotten some help out of over the years.
I'll be short and sweet. I was raised in church, live by Christian values, and anything that is against those, I will not support giving money to or taking money from them. So. For every good lobby campaign, there's undoubtedly 3 or 4 negative ones. I really got no use for it. If it's not something that is going to benefit our students, faculty, taxpayers, I mean, really, we have no use for it. Thank you.
All I gotta say is I'm a Christian, and I would never support anything like that. Never. We're a Christian community. You see it around town, you wouldn't want to fund that. You wouldn't want your taxpayers to go to this people that are, I think they're sick. So we need to keep that out. I would never agree to it. We're Christians, and we're gonna stay a Christian community. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all did great. Okay, y'all can mingle. Do as you please. Don't tear anything up.
Great job. Thanks for your time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Robin, thank you very much. You did a great job.
Yeah. Have that back. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.